Hello, everyone. Santa here, cutting a bit close for my Life and Channel update for January 2023. But here we are, and I'm getting it in. And it's been kind of a busy month. The end of the holiday season, and I finally beat Elden Ring for certain definitions of finishing a playthrough with, as far as I know, having beaten all bosses. As far as I know. I feel like every now and then I somehow still find a world boss I somehow managed to miss, but probably because it spawns at night, which is an interesting mechanic. Anyway, it means I have gotten back into the what do they call it? The way of things. I don't know. I've forgotten my metaphors now. That's okay. I've gotten back into working on Astria, which was the RPG Maker MV project I had been working on before the sort of end of the holiday season. I made mention in the last month in December, the Psychopomps report that Psychopomps are missing is on hiatus because I'm working on something else, and that something else is Astria, Princess of Light, is what I'm calling it right now. So it's supposed to be a smaller RPG project that has a lore framework that makes it a lot easier for me to just throw in stuff that I find interesting. One of the things that's really tricky for me is that creatively I am a pantser as opposed to a plotter. This is using writer lingo, so somebody who flies by the seat of their pants. I like to kind of figure things out as I go, but I inevitably hit points where I feel like I need to kind of plan things out, and that always stalls me out. So Astria is something where I'm trying to avoid having to plan things out as much as I can, but I have had some of that I've needed to do where I needed to come up with a standard list of skills. So I did that and fleshed those out and whatnot this month. So things are moving forward on that, not as quickly as I'd like. It's never as quickly as I'd like. One of the other things that I've really come to just see in myself is that I'm somebody who's really, really bad at sort of like midterm thinking. I can grasp short term of like immediate, and like long term, okay, this is where I want things to be. Or like here's how something could be in the long run, but I'm really bad at that sort of like mid phase area of like, okay, how do I get from now to there? And like things progressing step by step and stuff. I don't know why I kind of struggle with that a little bit. Where it's really, I feel like if I'm not getting the whole thing done right away, I'm not making progress or something. It's very weird, like psychological quirk that I'm very aware of at this point because I've been having to come face to face with it so much. But it is nevertheless a thing that I'm observing in myself as kind of getting in the way. And the thing that's a particular problem with it is it can be kind of demoralizing. It makes it hard to feel that small steps are building towards anything. And the way that I kind of say it is I can feel like I'm planting a bunch of trees when I'm trying to make a forest, but it doesn't feel like I'm making a forest until suddenly I step back and there it is. And so like just planting a tree doesn't feel like I'm making any progress towards completing the forest that I'm trying to plant, but it is. And this is where I run into the problems, where I tend to be very forest oriented in my vision. And one tree isn't a huge part of a forest, but you build up that forest through a bunch of trees. So anyway, so that's something that I have been coming face to face with a lot. I did make a couple of videos on some thoughts that I had about Elden Ring design stuff, so those are on the channel. You can go check them out. Is part of the Thinking About Game Design series. I do want to do more of a full review, just in the same sort of style that I always do, of just my face and whatever. I have to keep production value really low, or I'm not gonna. I'm not invested in editing. I don't want to have to capture footage or any of that sort of stuff. It's just too much work for me to want to do. So I am. I do want to do a full review, but it is going to just be in the sort of style. But I want to beat Elden Ring on a few more characters first. I am currently playing a Int Faith character, so I want to get that character through the game. I want to see a different ending, but it's not like I want to see more of the endings myself and kind of experience them. but also I want to experience more playstyles because I want to have a fuller understanding of the game. And it's just a very big game, so it just takes a long time and a lot of time to kind of get through all of that stuff. So that's where things are kind of with that. So I do want to do a fuller review that's not just looking at a few things that I have criticisms about, but is looking at things that, okay, I really like what they did here, and I like how they've set things up. But it's hard to have the full experience of different playstyles and all that sort of thing with just one playthrough, right? With just one strength faith character. And I have lots of thoughts about how that played out and all that sort of stuff, but I want a greater nuance that comes from more playthroughs. That's mostly a lot of what's been going on for in terms of things related to this and projects and stuff. I do want to be writing more poetry in theory, but I haven't done that just yet. So I think we'll just kind of keep this nice and short. Things are moving forward on Astria. I'd like to, in theory, get it to kind of an alpha state in a few months' time, by sort of a third of the way through May or so. We'll see. That's definitely a very ambitious goal. I want to try to aim towards it, but I feel like I need to develop my processes and focus and ability to just really sit down and hammer stuff out a lot better than it currently is. And some of that's going to require me to overcome some of my difficulties with that mid-view lens. So I like coming up with ideas for plans or like directions of things to do, but actually implementing them is another matter. I think that's why I'm very interested in figuring out procedural systems, because those sound like fun challenges to solve. And once you've solved the fun challenge, you can just let it make the game for you, as it were, because that's the challenge that you were solving. Speaking of making things for you, I do have another video that should be coming out shortly talking about some AI stuff that I've been thinking about in terms of the broader AI and economy and stuff. But that's enough teasing. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this update video here. Nice and short one for y'all. And I hope you are doing well, having a good new year. And until next time, everyone, take care. Goodbye.